afternoon.
Hello. Okay. Some familiar faces.
Short bargain section for the 10:30 at the end.
Keep it to a minute.
Yeah, okay. Neil, good afternoon.
Thank you. Afternoon.
Charge of a first team fixture for the second time of the season. I know it was
Yeah.
special to you the first time round at Aston Villa, but the fact that this one is at Anfield, what does this mean to you?
Oh wow, yeah. Incredible, really. You never thought it'd happen once, let alone twice. Obviously, thoroughly looking forward to what hopefully will be a special night. The young players are going to get quite a unique opportunity, and hopefully they can go and play in many ways how we played against Aston Villa, in a similar way, but hopefully we can make more of a game of it. And if the players play how I know they can play, then I'm sure that the support that we have on the night will be right behind us, and hopefully we can make it a great night for everyone.
Yeah, that support is going to be important. They're playing in front of a packed house at Anfield. There's a big prize at stake in terms of a tie at Chelsea in the next round. Bit of added pressure maybe. Does your message beforehand change in any way from the games that you've taken charge of those lads this season?
No, I think it's important that the messages are similar and the same. We keep it simple. The players know what's expected of them. We work on our process, our plan, what we can guarantee. You're never quite sure what young players are going to produce because they're still learning the trade, they're still learning the game. But that's the beauty of giving young players opportunity, because you never quite know. We're coming up against experienced players who know the game better than our players. They know how to put their game into the game that's required. But it is, hopefully, it's a great opportunity, and I'm really intrigued to see how our young players do.
Much has been made of the absence of Jurgen Klopp from this fixture. Has he passed on any words of wisdom to you beforehand, and do you expect him to do that if he hasn't already, and do you expect him to surprise us and turn up on the night?
I think the manager's made he's quite clear with the statement and what he said prior to the game. He gives myself, the staff, the players, he gives us unbelievable support. So I can speak to him whenever I like, when I'm down here. He supports the young players unbelievably well, as he's shown so far this season. His presence, even if he isn't there, his presence is always felt by our younger players and by myself. And I also think that maybe 1% that came into his thinking around his decision that the way we played against Aston Villa, maybe for the boys deserved another opportunity.
Do you think he'll speak to you on the night during the game?
I don't know. I don't need to think about that at the moment. He did join the Aston Villa game because he felt it was the right thing to do. We shall see, but I won't want to divulge too much information what we're going to do before and at half time, because can't guarantee that. I never know.
Look forward to it. 2 minutes.
Neil, can I just ask you, how much of an inspiration is it that these lads are watching first hand, the first team breaking records and setting standards?
Well, I think the strength of the first team, what you see all the time is, and I don't think it gets spoken about enough, is sometimes it's hard to put your finger on it, it's hard to describe, but when you're around it, you see the culture that they create, and that's through the people that they are. And for our players to be in and around that on a regular basis, it can't help but rub off on them. And I think that's been one of the biggest changes I felt in our younger players when they've had an opportunity to be in and around the senior players on a more regular basis, which a lot of them have had this season, which when you talk about, the season that Liverpool are having, which is, quite staggering, for our manager to still support our younger players and to give them opportunity is quite remarkable, really. So I think there's been a real connection between the younger players and the first team players, and long may that continue.
Yeah, I was just wondering, we talk about Shrewsbury, it's like, that's where I'm from, but anyway, what kind of test do you think they'll provide? Because obviously they came back late at Shrewsbury, so will this be a different sort of test for them? Do you feel this will be an advantage for you being here, but what kind of test do you think they'll give these players of yours?
Well, they deserve their replay because of the way they performed. The boss said after that they were fully deserved of the result on the evening, and to be 2-0 down and to stay in the game and to come back, they created a lot of problems for us. So I'm sure they'll be thinking of something similar tomorrow night. Obviously, we're going to have a different team, but I think that the expectation maybe for them is different coming into the game now, playing against the team that they're going to be facing. So that's why I think it makes such an intriguing, exciting cup tie, because there's a bit of the unknown around the game. But I'm sure the Shrewsbury fans will travel in great numbers. I think the club have done a great job with the pricing of the tickets, and I think it could be a full house, and it should hopefully make for an exciting cup tie.
Neil, as far as Shrewsbury are concerned, I suppose it's quite a rarity for you to be able to have the in-depth TV footage to look at the opposition, as you will have for this one. And I mean, obviously, you don't want to be sort of trying to overemphasise too much with the players, given their age, but that in itself can be a valuable tool. How much can that be a help to you?
Yeah, it is a help, but we are who we are, and we have to be us on the night. So we don't want to be complicating the messages. We don't want to be giving the boys too much information that they'll have enough to think about going into the game, during the game. So of course we'll have a plan. We have a plan going into every game, but you also have to be ready for the what ifs. I think that's the art of coaching, to coach your players to find the solutions on the pitch at the right time. Our players don't have the experience of doing that all the time in this type of environment. That's where I would say Shrewsbury have an advantage, because they've got senior players. But I think also the younger players that have been given the opportunity for our first team this season have shown that they can thrive in that type of environment. So hopefully we can have another similar night tomorrow.
When we spoke prior to the Aston Villa game in the Carabao Cup, you said that whatever the result, it was going to be an invaluable experience for the players. The performance was very good, the result wasn't. How much has that, and maybe games like the match against Shrewsbury, how much can they fast track the development of the younger players?
You can't buy experiences like that. It's probably worth 1 million of my coaching sessions, to be honest with you. Taking the boys outside their comfort zone and putting them into a game like that, you learn so much about them, but more importantly, they'll learn more about themselves. And I was pleased with a lot of aspects of that performance, but I couldn't also help to be a little bit disappointed as well with the result. I thought that was a little bit harsh on us, but we also have to take lessons from that, okay, yeah, we got some plaudits for the way we played, but we didn't do well enough in both penalty boxes. And if you're going to go into a results-driven business, you've got to win games of football, and we didn't keep the ball out at one end and we didn't score at the other end, so that's not a recipe for getting success. So our aim is to try and do a lot better than that tomorrow night. Hi, mate.
Does it annoy you a bit that you're seemingly being written off, that your team's been written off for this game, and you've been almost being put forward as sacrificial lambs because of...
Have we? Have we?
Well, no one's talking about you having a chance.
Maybe, I don't know, but say, not us, not inwardly. We're talking about how we can do well and what the things that we're going to need to do well to give ourselves an opportunity of being in the game. Like I said before, I think that's what sort of makes it a different type of cup tie. Is there more pressure on maybe Shrewsbury now to win the game because of the team that we have out? Possibly. But that might work in our favour. And again, maybe there's not been enough spoken about Shrewsbury and how well they played in the first game, and they're deserving of this replay. And I'm sure their players are absolutely delighted that they're coming to Anfield on a, what should be hopefully a great night for them. So hopefully we can, I wouldn't say spoil it, but we can give a good account of ourselves as well.
Curtis Jones has been one of the better players in one of the FA Cup ties so far. How much responsibility falls on his shoulders, and how well does he handle that?
I think he gave a good answer to that in the game against Everton. Self-belief is probably not one of his weaknesses, but that is also why he is who he is. So he'll be looking forward to the game tomorrow night. Make no doubt about that. And I think a few of the other players will be as well, because they've had some experience of these types of games this season. Arsenal, Everton, Aston Villa, tomorrow night. So I think that little bit of experience in and around the team that we're going to have, even though, ridiculous when you're talking about experience when Curtis has only just turned 19 and other players, we're going to have players who are eligible to play in the under 18 team, a youth team. People say an under 23 team. We're not. We're going to be under 19, under 20 at best. But, there's always a lot of people speaking about young players not getting opportunity in this country. Well, they're going to get an opportunity tomorrow night, and they've already had an opportunity this season, because that's what the manager does. So I can't wait.
Those ones, those players who have already played, Curtis and Harvey, is it going to be the players who haven't had that experience that's going to be the difference, in terms of how successful you are or not in that game? Because they've got to make a step up, which the likes of Curtis and Harvey maybe don't have to.
No, I think we're all responsible for what happens on the pitch. We're all in it. We're all there for each other. Again, that's the strength of the first team. They're there together all the time. They run through brick walls for each other every single game, and that's, again, you see that. I think you've seen that in our young players this season, that they fight for the cause all the time. And I understand what you're saying, that some have had a little bit more experience than others. But tomorrow night, it might be the ones who have not played that come to the fore. That's the beauty of the game. You're never quite sure of who's going to do what. And I'll be standing as an intrigued spectator just as much as you guys to find out how they do. Hopefully I've got a better idea of what they're going to do during the game, but I can't guarantee it.
Neil, just in terms of team news, Yasser Marucci obviously went off during the Under-23s game in the week.
Yeah.
Are you looking if you've got any other fitness concerns as well?
No, not in terms of injuries. Yasser obviously came off last week. We have today's training session and tomorrow, so we'll have a meeting before the training today to find out the latest with Yasser. That was unfortunate. Hopefully he makes it. If he doesn't, then that'll provide opportunity for one or two others. We're quite well blessed in that area this season. But other than Yasser, no, that's it. I know, I can mention names, but most of you probably don't know who they are, so I won't.
Did you feel like a top European manager on Saturday, picking your team with another game 3 days out and resting players?
That's a good point. I never thought of it like that. Top European. No. We just you just make the best decisions. What you think is right for the players, in the best interest of the players. That's what we always do, and I think that makes it easier for myself, for the academy, for all the staff. Is when you make every decision with the best interest of the players, then the decisions can be quite straightforward, really. Sometimes it might appear that they're not straightforward to outside people, but to us sometimes it's the decisions are quite easy to come by.
Do you want to answer from you? Okay. So we'll go and do a quick embargo section for the national.